August 14th. We're having the Building Grounds Transportation Security Committee meeting. Present tonight is myself, Pete Piro, Ms. Bora, Ms. Ratner, Ms. Fabiano, Dr. Chanley, Dr. Lehman, and Ms. Tate. We're going to start out with Mr. Pig with Building and Grounds. And
item number 1 on the agenda is the Rod Grant projects update. So the weather has turned in our favor this week, so the 1936 roof project is finally moving along. I'll pass along some photos to show you what's happening over there. Shingling is well underway. It'll be wrapped up this week. With a chimney in the back that comes down and the roof over that, they're working on that now. And then some close-up pictures give you an idea of the woodwork restoration that's going on. You'll see some of the wood rot up there and what they're attending to. But it's moving along. We should be on target for school opening. As I communicated in one of the recent weekly updates, some sections of the roof deck were rotted, which we've replaced. That's all covered by an allowance, so there's no increase to the contract cost. We also have shed roof in the back, which we made a change on, also covered under the allowance, so there won't be any increased cost there. I had talked to you about we were going to build a dormer on the back for the HVAC portion of the project, and we were going to have this contractor do it. We asked him to price it, and he came in with a very high price because there's no competition. So we opted to pull it from him, and we're including it in the scope of the HVAC project, so it'll be competitively bid. But for starters, I'll pass this along to see some of the progress that's going on out there. The other projects under the ROD grant is the electric service upgrade. That also has been moving along quite well. You'll see transformer pads going on, underground conduit feeds into the building, which have been installed, backfilled, paved. Again, we're still waiting on JCP now, 9 to 12 month delivery on the transformer, but we're moving ahead with the interior work. A lot of large 4-inch conduits being run through the building. We've hit a couple areas of conflict in an old building. As you're running, open up a ceiling, you think you can turn left, there's a blockade there. We've been able to work through all of these things without any increased cost.
very nice.
Contractor did put forth one change order request for $2,700 for some interference that he ran into. We rejected that, and I had Dominic and our guys go out there and do the work so that he could continue, and we didn't have to pay him the money for that. So the electric portion is moving along well. The HVAC portion of the project, we had a pre-bid meeting this week with prospective contractors. There's a lot of interest, which is good. Several contractors have picked up. There were numerous contractors at the walkthrough. So we should get hopefully some really good competitive bids on that. The bid opening is scheduled for September 10th. We'll award at the September 25th board meeting. As I previously mentioned, essentially what happens there is we start right away with equipment submittals. We'll get them processed very quickly. And then it's just kind of a sit and wait until that material comes in. Hopefully it arrives by spring break, and that's when we kind of start work. And then we hit it hard following summer 25. Which will go into fall of 25. We should be wrapped up by about Thanksgiving, which is good timing for us to move into the heating season with the new building in place. And then finally, there's the roof portion, which are the remaining roofs on the building. As I mentioned previously, that gets coordinated closely with the HVAC work. So now that the HVAC design is done, we know where all the equipment is landing, we then put together the roof bid package. We're not in a hurry to go out to bid for that because contractors are still finishing up their summer roof work. We'll be in good position to bid that in the fall, make an early award so we can lock in a contractor, you can get materials, and be on target for next summer. Next summer is going to be an incredibly aggressive and active summer over at Alpgard, but we should be in good shape for it.
Just to confirm, the gym will now have air conditioning,
The
correct?
entire building will have it.
I knew that. I just wanted to say it loud because I did have a couple parents reach out. Okay, very exciting.
So as a result of the work that was done this summer, is that as a result of the work that was done this summer?
It'll be done after the HVAC.
So
After the
we're
HVAC.
bringing in the electric service now.
Yeah,
The new electric service is needed to power the HVAC equipment, which will come next summer.
Next summer.
yeah, so the HVAC equipment is not here yet.
We've not bid
It's
it.
not even bid yet,
They
right?
just have
So the
requests.
gym will have.
Not for June graduation.
No.
No.
No, so it'll be the following year.
It'll be-
Yes.
But it.
But it's good. I'm not complaining.
Light at the end of the
It's
tunnel,
exciting.
light at the end of the tunnel.
There's cold at the end of the tunnel.
There's cold.
Okay, moving to.
I do have one more question for you. So the 1936 roof is completely taken care of over the summer or only a part of it?
All of this.
So two more roofs, which will be handled next summer along with the HVAC work.
4 roofs, actually.
AC work, we're gonna award the bid hopefully at the September board meeting this September.
Right, for the
Let's
HVAC work.
open that,
And then
they
maybe,
could order everything. maybe
We just
start
hold on
that.
to it and wait to do the work.
yeah, but we hold on to it. We don't do the work.
Right, and what's good is the bid keeps the price.
Yes.
That's very important.
The HVAC contractor orders things what are called roof curbs, which the equipment sets on. That will be here in time, so that when the roofer goes, he sets those on the roof, he roofs and flashes to those, the proper
There's a
system.
system
And the,
on top of it.
that HVAC is not going to impact the 1936 roof. That was just taken care of. That was,
One piece will, the
Well,
okay,
kitchen exhaust hood. So
Okay.
we don't currently have the kitchen exhaust hood in there, it's grandfathered under the old code. We're bringing that up to code, so it'll have ductwork, it'll go up to a actual roof.
and whatever was, the pictures that we saw of the wood rod that you shared in your confidentials also, it's been taken care of or will be taken care of before the school's open?
It's been taken.
That's great.
What was in the previous confidential, that has been taken care of, that is a substrate. What I showed you tonight is the perimeter corners, soffits, et cetera, that is ongoing as we speak.
Okay, and, Mr. Tate, the HVAC work that we are looking to do, that does not time at all to the ESIP Honeywell work or,
We are doing that ourselves.
yes,
We are looking to be able to, through the ESIP, take advantage of the grants. So in other words, savings that are realized by making this change will be folded into the
Okay,
ESIP, so
great.
they can take advantage.
there'll be some advantage. All right, great, thank you.
Next item, number 2, New Jersey Clean Energy Grant Program rebate.
He loves to get
Please
his money.
present the chair with another check.
Oh,
$600.
this is for Brookside? Is that for Brookside? Is that what this is?
No, this is for a project that was
That was last month.
currently at Applegarth School, changing out lighting to
Oh,
LED
great.
lighting.
Nice.
Now, this kind of does show you what happens with ESIP and what we've been doing all along. We've been taking on these projects ourselves,
Yeah.
one at a time. We do the labor. We get the grants for this, which pays for the material, and then the district realizes the savings. Through the ESIP, the savings that you realize, you can then borrow against. We can't borrow against what we did.
Money.
Can't borrow against yourself.
In a perfect world, I'd love to do it all ourselves and not through ESIP, but just at the pace we go, you would never get through everything. You wouldn't be able to borrow that credit.
That'll allow us to do more.
Right, so by doing these projects also, our operating costs are reduced.
Go down.
What does ESIP stand for? Do you know?
Energy
Energy
savings.
saving improvement plan.
Okay, speak this.
The Honeywell thing was,
Right, I didn't remember the acronym. Right,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be, huh?
Okay, the next item on the agenda, number 3, is the Princeton University Resource Recovery Program. I was contacted by the Associate Director of Princeton University Office of Community and Regional Affairs, and they invited us to be a participant in their program. I posted for you just an example of what it is. They have a website where they post, and I just did one sample, I pulled up tables, and they post products and materials that they have and are no longer using. You click on it, it gives you details on it, and it's 100% free because we're identified as a nonprofit organization.
it was free?
It's free.
The furniture?
I thought this was like gov deals, we would have to pay something.
You pay nothing for this, pay nothing to participate. They were kind enough to offer us an invitation. I'm assuming the group will want to go ahead
Yes.
with this.
Yes,
I like
So I'll
absolutely.
execute the document.
Yes.
We'll get on
Absolutely.
board. We will share out the website to the principals. And, you know, if they're looking to buy file cabinets, tables, laptops, you know, everything with that.
So put this as,
Right there
put this
first.
as an agenda item on leadership meeting.
To confirm, the being part of the program is free or the actual?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything's smart. Free as
Everything.
well.
There's no cost to us.
So, we love leadership meeting.
So,
So
I mean, they're
the-
not
the-
putting up brand new stuff, but I just gave you an example of one piece.
Yeah,
Their used stuff is pretty high-end compared to what we use.
of course, this is Princeton University we're talking about, but do we have to like approve this or accept it every
You just
time
have to
something
tell me
comes
it's
in?
okay to, no, not every time. So once
Just
you
once.
authorize me to execute this, we're part of the program for 1 year. And hopefully.
It's like a cooperative agreement.
I was just gonna say that,
Cooperative-
consortium, cooperative.
Whatever
We
they.
just have to go and pick it up.
And we'll discuss it at our leadership meeting in September.
Are there other universities that have a similar program? This, I mean, it's fantastic. I didn't
We
even know
don't
it
got it for
existed.
everyone.
I think they
We're starting
randomly
to
select surrounding communities to
They
participate.
usually pick towns like, as
Proximity.
they said, in proximity of them to make it attractive to the neighboring
Oh,
community.
right, I know, but I mean, we have others that are, listen, this is fantastic, I was just curious if this is a routine thing at universities or if it's
No, that's
exclusive to
awesome.
Princeton. It's great.
We were there once, I want to say 5, 6 years ago, they invited us and
Okay.
we've been invited back now, so.
That's great.
What made them invite us?
Kindness of their heart.
You're local.
Go Tigers, right? Yeah.
Mr. Tate's local too, so.
Next item on the agenda is a annual formality. The New Jersey Department of Education requires us to annually process a renewal application for any temporary classroom units that we have. As you know, we have 2 sets over there. The one set, which is the cardio trailers, are being removed.
Mhm.
Just need your authorization that we are going to use those for the second coming school year.
Yes.
Dr. Chanley and Ms. Allen will execute the form. We submit it to BOE, and then the county business administrator decide if they want to come out and do an inspection. Over the years, they've randomly come out and inspected some of the previous trailers.
Fine.
Based on the age, I anticipate they probably will come out,
Of course they
make sure that they're still in decent shape. And
They're very beautifully
Yes.
maintained, if I may say so.
so you'll see a
But-
resolution that we'll put on for the next board meeting for you folks to authorize.
But I do have a question there. So given the class sizes that are projected to go down in middle school, are we still occupying all the classrooms in the trailer as of now?
I can answer that. So as of now, the answer is yes, and what has happened is, because middle school is teamed, class size is relevant to also the amount of teams they have. So currently, he did go down a team in the 6th grade, and he's working on now, so you have 5 in the 6th grade, 6 in the 7th grade, 6 in.
Seven.
Five. We went down to 1 in 6th grade, 1 in 7th grade, you're correct. So based upon what the numbers are like, based upon financial responsibilities, might be part of the conversation of what it looks like if we need to save money and what we're doing. So we will know better whether or not another team will be going down and how that affects the trailers. As of right now, the trailers are still being utilized. It makes a difference if you can fit, I'm just gonna use the number of 4 teams, and I'm not saying they're going to 4 teams, but if they could, 4 teams in the building, then the conversation would absolutely be that we need to put in the budget for the removal of the trailers, because there is a cost, but we're not there yet. But it's definitely a conversation that I continue to have with Dr. Higgins as well as Mr. Tate.
Aren't we working on a new demographics report too?
Yeah, well, we just had that conversation, right?
Projected
It's in the
future.
budget, it's something we really need to do that to move forward. And even you weren't part of the conversation, but the conversation at, Lace was to come up with, and we know it's, he used the word loose, was that your word? Very, very loose estimate of what we would need for kindergarten. We talked about full day kindergarten, and I believe the number was around 15 million, approximately, you know? And we know it's very loose, but we, even if it's very loose, and I don't know how we would phrase that, we want to be able to say to our legislatures, you know, thank you, we'll take everything you give us, but we need way more than what you've given us, we need even more. So we're gonna set up a meeting to have that conversation. But this conversation, like that cost, also goes into play. Is it financially, where are we at, who's on the cart, like, you know, where do we have these other classes, what's shared? So this year we need the trailers, as of right now. Next year, because this year's already here.
Right.
Next year we need the trailers,
This is yearly, the renewals that we do is yearly, Mr. Tate?
please,
Yes.
yes.
When you say next year, we need to, because I know when we looked at the numbers before the legislators meeting, the current 5th grade is small, much smaller
So
than the
next
current
year
8th grade.
incoming.
So next year's
Right.
incoming.
But the 7th grade has already gone down a team, so it's all about teams.
Right,
So you need to be able to have a home for the whole team. You can't, it's not like a high school where you can just say, he has X amount of children and then separate them through sections. So every time they go down a team, that does free up, it doesn't free up necessarily 4 or 5 classrooms because some people share to begin with.
Mm.
So that's why I really don't want to speak on it without having Dr. Higgins here, because I want to just say that we are 100% keeping an eye out to see where we can have some savings and of the cost. But then the conversation would have to be, Mr. Shake, how much is it going to cost us to remove them? And that must go in the budget because we need to make sure we knew with the cardio trailers, we were going to do that. So that cost was in there. So you always have to spend money up front, a savings in the end. So we will absolutely. So as of right now,
Is it 2 trailers that is
it's,
the unit?
yeah, it's 8.
For right now, is it 2 or is it 1 trailer?
There's 8 classrooms.
8 classrooms,
8 classrooms and toilet rooms. So they come in sections.
sections.
Each
Very
section is a half of a half.
Uh-huh.
So there's
Okay.
16 pieces to make 8
Correct.
classes.
It's very cool, and they are, and I'm very pleased
So
to see
there-
how wonderful they are.
There's no partly removing this.
No.
It has to be considered as one whole unit. We
Well,
only-
you could technically, you could
It would cost
technically
us
move
money
8.
to read, to
You could
pay
move
that.
4 and 4 technically,
Right.
but
Oh, I'm not talking about this year at all. I'm
No.
talking about a future year.
I think we really can't plan anything until we get a demography.
I agree.
Just to give us like a
Understand
picture of where we're at and.
Right, if
So we
it comes
know.
to that, is that even a question next year to remove half of it? I mean, is there cost
I don't think
savings
so.
to removing half?
I don't think there'd be a cost. I think it would cost us more
It might
money.
be more
Cut
complicated.
out the middle.
let's cut out the middle.
Please.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You got
You'd have to probably relocate the bathroom,
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
so plumbing, there's a lot.
So it really is
Probably
all
of
or
it.
nothing,
Nothing.
all or nothing.
And the trailers that are there, are they coming to get them? Are they
Yes.
still there? They gonna be there, but
No.
will they be gone before school
Yes.
starts? Okay.
The demographer's report, I know that was in the budget for this year.
Are we doing it as a,
What, like, I guess, is there a certain
Yeah,
time
Mr.
point?
Fig, so when would we go out?
Do that.
How does that work?
So that would start right around early December. You wait for the October
Numbers.
numbers to come in, which don't become official until the auditor has gone through them. So Ross Haber, if that's who you choose to go with, can start some of his legwork with the township. He meets with the planning board, gets their data, but he needs those final numbers out in December-ish.
It's usually, yeah, it's, whenever we go through the auditing process, part of that is auditing our, ASSA
Okay,
numbers.
right, which we don't get till October, at minimum October 15th?
We take the data in October,
Mm-hmm.
it is then
Give it.
cleaned up,
Mm-hmm.
verified, and then audited, and those numbers, the final numbers are what he uses as
That's his number.
the most updated numbers to then make his
Right.
So
projections.
that's why, this could, because I know we've discussed the demographer's report needing that for a lot of different
And
conversations.
that's why that's why this conversation is, as of right now, the trailers would remain for the 25, 26 years. As of right now, because we may not, yes, you could say we're looking at 5th grade, but what happens if, based upon the demographer's report, the growth is going to be in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade? We don't want to be penny wise and dollar foolish.
yeah,
So that's why I'm projecting out, not that year, that's why I said that year, but the year after. That makes sense.
We historically have received demographers reports January, February,
Yeah, late January.
late January, early February.
Will be 100%.
We pushed him that one, remember that we really needed as much as possible because we were going up for referendum.
you're going on.
I remember that.
What is our cost for, now that the cardio trailers are not, there, what is the cost of trailers at the middle school now? Yearly cost, do you have a ballpark number? Is it monthly or yearly? We pay yearly, right? For the-
Well, we pay monthly.
We pay monthly, but it's yearly cost. You said it last time, I forgot.
What is it?
No, I think it's not less. I thought it was less.
Well,
Was it?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay,
I don't want to guess it.
all right, sorry to put you on the spot, I just wanted to get an idea.
Yeah, we discussed it, but now I forgot what you said. I don't remember it.
I do know, like you said, though, my daughter just finished 7th grade, and I gotta tell you, the students who were not in the trailer were jealous of the students who were.
Yeah.
in it.
And I want to tell
In the
you,
trailer, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
and you do remember the nightmare that came with the trailers?
I mean, I haven't been in there, I might even walk through one.
They're beautiful.
The bright orange, you know, I never
Well,
thought I would say that.
I helped decorate them, so you know, the purple.
Yes.
Anything else? Okay.
No.
Anybody have any questions for this? Real quick, transportation, Ms. McDonald couldn't be here. As far as I know, we're on track.
Yep.
We have 100% buses, still 15 contracted buses.
Correct.
Rest in house. I think that, there wasn't anything else that we need to
Nope.
bring up.
Just, we
Nope.
always know that the first
We
week.
can say it
of
aloud.
school is a
Yeah,
little-
the first couple days.
we always
we-
have to
We're
work
starting
on
on a Wednesday.
We just, I think the main thing is that as long as Ms. McDonald has good communication with the contracted buses, and it's always a matter of, the parents need to understand that your first week, your bus could be 30, 40 minutes late, because it's especially elementary, because they want to make sure the kids get to the right location.
Yep,
So they take their time, they go a little slow.
working out routines and making.
But
sure
once
everybody's
once
following
they-
the rules.
It gets in there, then hopefully everything's gonna run smoothly.
And I think it's important to note also, because I know the public was watching or could watch. So one of the things we know is that everything is a domino effect. So you start at the high school, they go to the middle school, they go to the elementary. under normal circumstances, once we get into a routine, we don't hold a bus. We understand that. But the first week of school, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we hold the buses. We have no choice. Our sixth graders are still like our elementary children very much. So when you're holding the bus, if we hold the bus, we hold all the buses, which means that affects the elementary. We get on the walkie-talkie. Well, I don't anymore, but they get on the walkie-talkie and they let them know. So please, parents should not, yes, we want to communicate with you, but parents should not in any way have that level of anxiety because their child, you're absolutely right, Mr. Piero. It could easily be 35 minutes.
35, 40 minutes.
It really could.
Yeah, and I just want to add that it's, we ask for patience for things like that, where if the time was 7:40, but the bus is not there till 8:05, the first week at least,
It
it's
is.
fine. But if your child is being dropped at the wrong stop and, things like those should be reported immediately.
Immediately.
The sooner you report it, the faster the transportation department can correct it. We sometimes get angry enough to talk at other places about it and make a big issue about it outside, but we don't bring it to the person who can fix it.
So for
So-
that, the chain of command would be for the parent to call transportation department or?
Yes.
Yeah, I would actually even send, I would also send
There's
an
a number
email.
of that.
Or
No,
email.
you send an email.
Easier because the first week is so busy
They may be able to answer the
that it
phone.
might be easier to email.
I agree.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Because then it gives them an opportunity to have the email, because if they're taking 20 phone calls in 15 minutes and they're trying to jot down all their notes,
Right.
where if they get emails from parents saying, hey, I have this problem, I have this
Mhm.
problem, at least she has it in front of her, so the next day or that night, they could look at it.
So would
and
they would
take
just
little
email
notes
the
too.
director of transportation? That's,
Yes,
Yes.
okay.
And the director of transportation handles it and then disseminates to
to
whomever
whomever.
he needs to. Sometimes and I'm a mommy, so I understand, but sometimes parents automatically get angry
Yeah.
because they're frustrated, and I respect that, but there's no need for that. We are well aware that, we do our very best to be as perfect and fabulous as we are, but we have 7,000 children. And, the most important thing is that they're safe, and please be patient.
And it's fortunate, that I've talked to some other people in other districts, and, the busing is a serious issue. It's not a Monroe problem.
No, it's everywhere.
So,
Everywhere.
we're, working our best to try to, make everybody happy, pleased, and
And
I know we won't please everybody, but, we're gonna.
That's our goal.
we gotta keep trying. Yeah. With the attrition of the bus drivers, and given that we have to contract bus drivers, and I've experienced it as a parent, and I know it happens every year, when there are bus drivers that are not familiar with their school
Mhm, it
district.
takes
Take a
longer.
little-
First week is harder. They will make routing mistakes and mapping mistakes. If you're taking the time to go on Facebook, take a minute before that and write to the transportation director. And then go on Facebook, so that at least you've given the opportunity to the team to fix it. And
Well, I think that's the key, what you just said. When there's a problem, an error, or something needs to be fixed, you have to give the opportunity.
Opportunity.
That's to
Correct.
fix it, to correct it.
And that's why I think if parents sent emails, it would be a lot easier.
I agree.
Than everybody calling, because at least then she has a
Yeah.
document that she could go back to or pass to her staff to look up that issue or that route or see where it is. And like I said, it's always a problem the first week.
Is that
It's just, but it's a lot of it's taking their time too. Remember what elementary kids, the drivers need to meet the new kids, know where they're at.
They check where they
Drivers
are.
always make sure that there's a parent or somebody to get the child off the bus, so.
So is that something we can put on the website? I went to the transportation, I know we're getting a new website, but right now, the only thing that's listed is if you have questions to call
Yeah, there's a number to
732-521-2114. So perhaps whether we
Maybe
send
we
it.
add that onto the website. If you
Just
have
email.
issues
At the
with
letters,
email,
no,
director of
rather,
transportation, or transportation.
maybe we could add.
Have a general email just to try. I'll see.
The letters.
We
will
can
all
see,
appear
and
on
if there is
our
one, then
website.
they can send it to the general.
Oh, like we have the general concerns, like, right?
Whoever's there that day can grab them.
Now we have the general email when we talked about the referendum years ago, then we have a general email about other
Then we
things.
could have a general one. for
Transportation.
transportation.
Yes.
And
If
maybe.
God forbid they email the director in 2
Announcement
or
of
3
the
days,
bus routes.
and then nobody sees the email, so maybe we could
Right,
just have a transportation.
because most people aren't gonna know what
Post it
the
on
person's
Facebook.
name is, to look
Yeah.
up their email,
Right.
and so.
No, they email me.
That's a good idea. But if they, if we have a transportation email,
That's what's okay. It's my pleasure.
any other transportation questions? All right,
Good luck to the team for this year.
No, thank you. Yes, we're very excited. It's gonna be great. It's always great.
Okay, I'll